शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषु भिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजता दधोक्षजय आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 10, beginning from text number 14. And this is the story of great King Bharat and his meeting with King Rahugana. Bharat was employed in carrying him in the palanquin, and because he was not doing his job properly, because he was doing something else properly, cannot do two things, material thing and the spiritual thing, simultaneously. So he was engaged in his meditation. He was seeing the presence of God even in the ants and did not want to step on them. Therefore he was not able to match his steps with the other carriers of the palanquin. And the king became angry and spoke sarcastically, then chastised him. So finally Bharat Maharaj, who has been keeping quiet all his life, he never spoke anything till now. He was behaving as if he doesn't know how to speak, like deaf and dumb and dull-head. So he thought that it is time for him to speak, because if he does not speak, then this king may get into trouble. It's like he did not speak anything with these robbers, so they got killed. He also thought that anyway I have lifted this king on my shoulders, now it's my duty to uplift him. So not pull him down. So he spoke, and then he answered to the king that whatever you said about me sarcastically, that I am not thin, I am thin, I am not fat, I am tired, I am this, I am that. He says all this is not applicable at all to me because I am not this body. You are not the controller, I am not the controlled. And all this thing that you will cure my disease, this is not possible because I am not crazy as you think. And you have no way to cure me anyway. So when king heard this, he was completely taken aback. First of all, he was never expecting that these carriers could even talk back to him. It is never heard of anything, any behavior like this, that servants can talk back to the king. And that also some lowly servants. Maybe ministers or those who are close associates, they can question him, but not simply one just carrying him. So this came like a shock to him, and then to hear what he was saying, that was very amazing. So he could understand that this person is not an ordinary person, and definitely I was going to listen to some discourse, but looks like I got the person right here. So Sukadeva Goswami, who is relating the story to Parikshit, he says, Etavad anuvada paribhashya prati udirya munivara upasanashila uprata natya nimitta bhogena karmarabdham vyapanayam rajyanam api tathova. After saying this, Jad Bharat, who was actually speaking the truth, he became silent, and he was obviously not identifying with his body, and he knew that he took that this thing which I have to carry, this king, this is also part of my prarabdha karma from past life, is coming to me. So then he started again walking, because in the previous verse he said that now you are thinking you are the master and you think I am servant, so let me accept that. What service can I do for you? And after saying this, he again continued, Rajyanam api tathova. He did not, after speaking also, he did not think that now I have revealed myself, why shall I carry this and dump it? No, as if nothing has happened. He answered him, and then he again starts moving. So this commentator says that Anuvad Rupaya Paribhashya Bhashamanena Upratam Anatmasya Dehatma Bhava Nimittam Avidyayasya. So he has repeated what the king had said and then gave an explanation. And then he stopped. Nanu swadeha vimanam vina tadvacho anudya sodhum asamarthaiva samadadhana katham tatha pratyutva putra bhogena rajochit ashwarya bhogena gyapitam yat rahugana saprarabdha karma tadapi vyapanetum anuvad mishena kripya swabdisht tadanushtaya uktya eva tat prarabdham ki duri kartam. So he said that how is it possible that he was able to speak like this if he did not have any contact with his body or any identification with his body? After all, he heard the statements which king spoke to him. He also heard the statements of the king that I will cure you, I will chastise you like Indra, So obviously king is talking about the body. So if he is not identifying with the body, why should he even bother to answer and think that you said like this and you said like that? That means he must know that this is being spoken to him. Otherwise it will not be possible for him to speak like this. So he says, Anuvad Mishena Kripya Swopdishta Tadanushtaya Uktya Eva Tat Prarabdhamukiduri. So why he did that? That Upabhogena Rajochit Ashwarya Bhogena Gyapitam Yat Rahuganasya Prarabdha Karma Tadapi Vyapnan. He did this to remove the Prarabdha Karma of the king. Although he was also thinking this is my Prarabdha Karma, but he knew that now I have to get rid of his Prarabdha Karma, which means he wants him to really be uplifted or liberated. So by answering him and by talking to him, if he keeps quiet, then the king will get reaction for that because he is offending him. So by replying, this is one way of actually protecting the king from getting into more trouble. It's like when these robbers were trying to kill him, he did not react, so they got into trouble. They were all killed. So because he is a great devotee and if he does not take any action himself, then God will take action and punish the king. So therefore he says that Swapdishta tad anushtaya uktya eva tat prarabdhamiti duri kartam, that he was like removing the karma or the past karma of the king. Yadva pramoth danyena swasya bhaktatva amananat upabhogena sivika bharodvahanadina arabdha phalam karma vyapnayana vyapnayamiti mansi bhavena. So the statement upabhogena karma arabdham vyapnayana can be applied to both sides. Can be applied that he was removing the karma of the king or he was removing his own karma. So now he gives the second explanation, that because he is a devotee and he was absorbed in the loving mood of the Lord, so devotion brings humility. So out of humility he was thinking that this must be my prarabdha karma, this must be my past karma, that I have to carry this palanquin, therefore let me carry it. So that's why it said that he continued carrying it. Sachapi Pandaveya Sindhu Savirpatis Tattva Jigyasayam Samyak Shraddhya Adhikrita Adhikaras Tadhirdaya Granthi Mochanam Dvijvacha Ashritya Bahu Yoga Grantha Sammatam Paraya Avruhiya Sirsha Padmulam Upasritah Kshamapinam Vigata Nirpadevam Samaya Uvacha. So now he says that the king, how did the king react to all this? So when he started moving, then the king, who was actually himself going for Tattva Jigyasa to hear, to listen some discourse, and who was full of faith and was qualified. So after hearing the statements of Jad Bharat, he immediately, and he realized that his statements are Bahu Yoga Grantha Sammatam. What he is speaking is right. He was not wrong. So very quickly he jumped from the palanquin. When it was moving, he jumped down because he realized that he is not an ordinary person. And then he put his head on the feet of Jad Bharat and all his pride that he was a king, it melted in a second. So he was holding his feet and full of tears in his eyes and asking for forgiveness to him, saying that this is the greatest offense I have done, to engage you in carrying me. You should be actually sitting on my head. And this is exactly what Jadabharat was saying, that you are thinking that you are the Swami and I am the servant. What if the situation changes? And I will be the Swami and you will be the servant. So it changed in a second. And then after he gave up all his idea that he is a king, then he spoke the following statement to him. So there is not much commentary in this. Adhikrita Prapta Adhikaro, that he was a person who was qualified to hear, or who has attained this adhikar, eligibility for hearing. So now he speaks to him. And this is what he says. Kastvam nigodasya rasi dvijanam libharsi sutram katamo vadhutah kashyami kutratya ihapi kasmat shemaya naschedasi notay shuklaha. So he asked him that, who are you? And the first question is, Kastvam nigodacharasi. You are hiding yourself, and please tell me, who are you? You are wearing this sacred thread, Yajnopavit, and therefore it looks like you are a Brahmana. But still, you are something else. You are some Adhuta. Adhuta are great, highly realized people, like Dattatreya or Rishabdev. Those who are so absorbed in their internal state that they do not know anything about the external world. They behave like insane people. They are not concerned about their body, and they cannot even take care of their own body. They are so much. So he says, you look like some Abhuta, and who is your father? Where were you born? And how is that you have come here? And because he was going to meet Lord Kapila, so he is even thinking that maybe Kapila himself has come here. So he says that, are you Lord Kapila himself, who have come to this place to bless me? So the commentator says, Dvijana Madhye Tvam Katamaha, says, who are you among the Brahmanas or twice born? Why? Because Tvam Sutram Bivarsi, because you are having this thread. Avdhutaha Kim Dattatreya, or are you Dattatreya? Dattatreya is an avatar of the Lord. He also wandered in India. Kasya Putro Asi, who is your father? Putratya Kim Des Janmasi, and where were you born? No Asmakam Kshemaya Praktas Chet Shuklo Narayanam Nasi Tadavtar Kapilam Nasi. Are you Lord Narayana himself, who have come here to bless me? Or are you Lord Kapila, the incarnation of Lord Narayana? So this is the question he is asking. And he says, नाहं विशंके सुरराज वज्रात् न त्रक्षशूलात् न यमस्य दंडात् नाग्निर्क सौमानलवित्तपात् स्त्राच्छंके भीषण ब्रह्मकुलाभिमानात्. So he says that I do not fear the thunderbolt of Indra. I am not afraid from the trident of Lord Shiva, nor from the chastising rod of Yamaraj, the Lord of Death. I am also not afraid of sun or moon or wind or Kubera or any of this. But I definitely fear of offending a devotee. So he said that don't think that I am scared of anything. But I would not like to offend a great saintly person like you. Otherwise I am ready to face anybody. So nanu sibika arudhasya tav kimanena vicharena iti yataha naham iti. So if someone asks him that you are sitting in the palanquin, why are you asking all this, who am I and where I come from? I'm just carrying a palanquin, what's your problem? You spoke something, I answered you, now I do my job. I'm not running away. So he says, no, it is not that. I don't want to offend you because you are some realized person. सुराजादेव वज्रादिभिः युधि मां हन्तुं यदि प्रयतन्ते तदपि स्वस्य वीरत्व स्वभावात् न शंके प्रत्युत उत्साह सुखमेव प्राप्नोति. He says that even if Indra, the king of heaven, comes to fight with me, I will not run away, I will fight with him. Rather I will feel happy and I will be very enthusiastic to fight with him. And even if I get killed, I don't mind. यद्वा सुराजादिषु जाता प्राधोहम तेषां कुपितानां वज्रादि प्रहारादपि न शंके. Or the meaning is that I am not even afraid if I offend Indra or I offend Yamaraj or I offend all these other people, but I am afraid of offending devotee life. So that is my fear, and that's why I am asking this. Tad brahma sango jada vanni gudha vigyana vivya vichurasya paraha vachamsi yoga grathitani sadho nana kshamante mansapi bhetum. So he says that you are walking like a Brahma Sango Jadavan Niguda. You are hiding yourself and you look very learned, but you are behaving as if you are dullhead, Jadavan Niguda Vigyan Vedi, and trying to cover up your knowledge. And it looks like that you are completely renounced from any sense pleasures. And vachamsi yoga grathitani sadha. But your statements, they are very much in line with the yoga principles. And they are so deep that I am unable to understand the depth of your statements, and therefore I am wondering who are you and what are we doing here. Tattasmat bruhi kastvam ityartha. So please tell me who you are. Tat shivika vahako asmi iti ched. So if he says that why are you asking you? I'm just carrier of your palanquin. Who else am I? You already talking to me like that. अतः परमपि मद विडम्बने स्वामहं कमपि महायोगीन्द्रम अज्ञासमेव इत्यावचन. He says you are not the carrier because that is not what I feel from your words. The words which you have spoken. You are some great yogi, Mahayogindra. यतो योग ग्रथितानि ते वचांसि न अस्माकं मनसापि भेतुं न क्षमामि न शक्यामि. Because your words are full of meaning which I am unable to understand. यद्वा वचांसि योगै ग्रथितानि अपि योगेश्वराणाम् उपदेशवाक्यानि कर्तॄणि न अस्मान् अति कठोरान् भेतुं संशयं कर्तुं न शक्नुमः. And your statements which should be actually understood by great yogis, they are coming inside but they are not able to clear our doubts because we are not able to understand them. Idrishan mansapi sahitan amit mansoapi avaditvani tanajanaksami. Even when I concentrate my mind and try to understand their meaning, it is not possible for me. Tavtu etavata api prativasne neva chinsansya asmi samvritta iti. And by your speech, he is giving another meaning that even the words of great yogis, they cannot remove my doubt. But even your simple statements have removed my doubt. So an alternative meaning is Aham cha yogeshwaram atma tattvavidam muninam paramam guruvai prashtum pravritta kimiharanam tat sakshat harirjnana kalavatinam. So he said that I was actually going to meet the great teacher Kapila. So Kapila is the propagator of Sankhya philosophy, which is one of the oldest systems of philosophy. And he is known as Yogeshwara and the best of knower of the absolute reality. So I was going to go to him that what is the duty of a person. But looks like that Lord Hari himself has appeared here. So his question was that I wanted to know Kimiha Arunam Tat Sakshan, whose shelter we should take here. It looks like that the Lord has appeared right here to answer me. Yogeshwaranamiti mukhyaiva matsansam shetum samarthayati dotpaham chaiti. So by saying that Kapila is the Yogeshwara, the best of the yogis, he is indicating that only he can remove my doubt. And since by hearing your voice, your words, my doubt are removed, so you are also like him. That is the intention. Sakshat Harim Sri Kapila Devam Jnanasya Kalai Gyapnaya Utim. So he is saying that I was going to the ashram of Kapila Dev. Savai Bhavan Loka Nirikshmartham Avyakta Lingo Vicharatyapo Apisvit Yogeshwaranam Gatimanda Buddhi Katham Vichakshita Grihanandha. So you are wandering here on earth, and is it that you are Kapil himself who have changed the appearance of Vyaktalinga and going around just to study the people how they are? So he says, I am a dull-headed person. I am attached to my family, my sense pleasures. So how is it possible that I can understand? दृष्टा श्रमय कर्मता आत्मनो वै भर्तुर्भंतुर्भवतश्चनुमन्ये यथा सतोदान यनाद्य भावात् समूल इष्टो व्यवहार मार्ग. So now he is going to answer what was spoken by Bharat. Because previously there was a whole dialogue. King said that you are not tired, and then Bharat said, yes, because I am not the body. So now King is saying that you may not be body, but still body gets tired. Says, I have also participated in battles, and by fighting I feel tired, and therefore I can infer that you are carrying this load, you also must feel tired. So I am speaking on the empirical platform. I do not consider that the body is not existing. Body is real, and if you are walking and carrying weight, it will feel tired. And you are talking of something else which I don't understand. So he begins to answer to what Bharat was saying. Kapil Dev prashtum pravritto aham dhvani eva tamimam praptas tadetat dattautrani eva prathamam akshipam sarvemaiva svajigyasyam aviskarishyami iti mansi vicharya niduktam mam sramo nasti tadaha drishtai. So Vishwanath Chakravarti says that after saying all this to Jad Bharat, the king thought that I was going to have instructions from Lord Kapila. So why not I speak in a way that he will answer and give reply to my questions. So with this intention, in a way he is posing doubts to what Bharat said. He is not just accepting, because unless he poses a doubt, then he is not going to speak more. And what he spoke, he didn't give any specific instructions. He was just trying to reply to what king has said. So now basically he is making a basis for Jad Bharat to speak and instruct him. So Atmano me anumanye anumime anumanasyevam bhavan bharvahadina shrante kartritva atiya karta sasramiti yadhamyandakar. So he says that because he had said that you are tired earlier, although he said it sarcastically. And now he is proving it. So he says, how do I know that you are tired? Because you are hungry, how do I know that you are hungry? Something like that. So he says, directly I cannot see, but I can make an inference. And the inference is like this, that you are carrying palanquin, therefore you must be tired, because whoever does hard work gets tired, as my own experience of fighting the battle. So you have a body, I have a body. I do some hard work, I get tired. You are doing hard work, you also must be tired. That's what I meant. So he is putting this logical statement. न च इदं व्यवहारिका एव जल्पन्ति न तु पारमार्थिका इति वाच्यम्. So he says, now Jad Bharat says, oh, that you are just talking like common empirical person. I am a spiritualist. So don't apply your empirical influence on a spiritualist. If he says like this, then he says, Vyavahar margasyapi nirmuli kartum ashakyatvat. So you may be spiritualist, you may be realized, but that does not mean that you can completely uproot the normal activities. Even if you are realized, you are still living in the body, and body has its own demands. It has its own characteristic. It needs food, it needs sleep, it needs rest, it gets tired. All these things will happen whether somebody is realized or not realized. Different people may have different stamina. Some people can eat more, some people eat less. Everybody eats. Some people have more capacity to work. They take less sleep, but they also sleep. Some people can carry more weight. Some people can run faster than others. So I say you cannot completely uproot just because you are talking about Paramartha or spirituality. घटादि कर्णक जलादिकम आहर इत्युक्ते असता घटादिना उदक आनयनादेर अदृष्टत्वात् व्यवहार मार्गः प्रपंच समूलः सप्रमाणके इष्ट. So if I ask you, please bring water. So you will bring water in a cup or in a pot, something. You cannot bring water in some imaginary cup. That is not possible. Like the story of the king have no clothes, the emperor has no clothes. But there was a person, he wanted to trick. So he went to the king and he said that I'm coming from heaven. And the king has sent, the king of heaven has sent me here to meet you. So he says, for what? He says, he asked me that I should make a dress for him. So he said, how can you make a dress? He said, well, I will make a heavenly dress for him. So he said, how will you make it? He said, leave me alone for 15 days and give me this much money and I will make the most extraordinary dress for you, which no one has ever seen. So the king was very happy that I will have a very special dress. So he gave him money and gave him a special apartment to live. So the guy was eating and sleeping and living happily. And then the king one day came to see and he said, yes. He immediately sat down and he started moving his hand in the air. He said, what are you doing? He said, I'm making the cloth. He said, but I don't see anything. He said, oh, these are heavenly instruments. It is heavenly cloth, you won't see it. So he said, what do you mean? He says, but actually only a person who is born from their real parents, they can see this cloth, otherwise others don't see. So the king didn't want to be caught on the wrong foot and he said, oh, now I see that you are making a cloth. So after 2 weeks he came to the king and then everybody was sitting in the assembly and he came like this as if having something in his hand. So the king announced to everybody that look, he is bringing heavenly dress for me. Everybody sees this. And so he says, oh, those who are not born from their parents, they cannot see. But the real children can see. So everybody was saying, yes, yes, we see, very nice. But now this guy said, well, you put on this dress. So the king said, yeah, I'll put it on. He said, no, you put it now. So the king has to remove his dress. And then he was removing his dress and then he was this, take this. And he was making as if he's putting his dress and the king was completely naked. And then he asked him that now we have made arrangement for you that there should be, like in India, kings used to go out in the streets so everybody can see. So he said, you should go out in this heavenly dress, everybody will have your darshan. So the king didn't know what to say, but he got caught and everybody was saying, yes, very nice dress, very nice dress. And then before the king came out, the arrangement, the news was said that no children should come to see it, only grown-up people. And then it was said that only those who are real children from their parents, they will see the dress. So all the people came and they were all glorifying. What a nice dress, what a nice dress. He's sitting naked on the elephant. So there was one small boy, somehow he sneaked in and he said, well, the king has no dress. So he says that if there is no pot, then how can you bring forth? So in Vyavahar, in empiricism, you cannot bring your heavenly dress and then say that you can deal with it. Yatha yatha yat esha priyoga prapancha satya arthkriyakaritva ya punar asatya naso arthkriyakari yatha mithya ghatadiriti. So you know this arthkriyakari is coming now? You didn't hear? Yatha, he gives an example. Esha priyoga, this is the inference statement. Prapanchaha satya, the world is real. Arthkriyakaritva. Why? Because it has arthkriyakari, utility. Yapunara satya naso arthkriyakari. That which is not real has no utility. In the same the Buddhist we were reading in Sarvadarshan somewhere. Yatha mithya ghatadiriti. There is a school of Buddhist called Vijnanavad or Madhyamik. And they say that everything is momentary. So the proof they give is like this. It says that if there is anything which exists, it has utility. And if it has no utility, then it does not exist. It's like the horns of a rabbit. You cannot utilize the horn of a rabbit or tail of a human being. So that is called arthkriyakari. So he says, you cannot say that body is not, what the king is saying, you cannot say that you don't have a body. And if the body is there, it must get tired by carrying the weight. So why did you say that if you don't feel tired? It's a good question, is right? Because Bharat said that I am not tired, I am not fat, I am not thin, I am not this. So he says, do you exist or not? Body is existing by arthkriyakari. Then he gives one more logic. Let's see what is the comment. Okay, and the comment. This is a good logic he gives. Sthalyagni tapatyapi asabhitapas tattapatastandul garbharandri dehendriya swashaya sannikarshat tatsansruti purushayanvodhat. So he previously Bharata, because the king said that he must be suffering. And then Bharata had spoken that I don't suffer because I am distinct from mind and body. So the king is giving a logic. He says that you have fire. On fire you put a pot. In the pot you put water. In the water you put rice. So what happens is that fire heats the pot. The pot heats the water. Water heats the rice. And then the inner part of the rice also becomes soft. So he says like this, you have body, then you have the senses, then you have the mind, you have intelligence, and then you have the Atma, the self beyond that. So you are carrying the weight on your body, so that is contacted by the body, and then there is skin, which is a sense that feels the weight, and the sense is connected to the mind, and mind gets the message, and then mind is connected to the intelligence and to the self, so the self also feels that I am tired, I am happy, I am suffering. See how you say that in yourself. So logically he is proving that you cannot deny this. So bharodvahanadina deha indriyadehe shvantya atma vishvanto bhavati iti tatra drishtantama. Says by carrying the weight, etc., body senses they become tired, and then the soul also become tired. This he proves with an example. Sthalya agnina tapat tanmadhyavartina payashastapa. So you have the pot, the fire, in the center there is milk. Milk gets hot. Tasya tapat tandulanam bahirbhagasya tapa. From the milk, then the outer part of the rice gets hot. Tatastad garbhasya randhi pako. And then the outer heat goes inside the rice, then the inner part becomes cooked. Tathaiva dehadivi sannikarshat sambandhat tat sansritistam nimittakam sansara purushasya bhavati. He says in the same way, by the contact of the body, mind, senses, etc., the soul also becomes bound to the material world. Ashvaha prana ashayo mana anurodhad upadhi dharma anuvritti. And that is because he may be separate from them, but he is having the conjunction with them, and therefore he feels. Yatha nidagadina dehe tapte indriyanam tapa tate pranasya tato manasya tate atma. So just like if it is hot, which was here in Asphula Java, not school. So you feel hot first in your body, then your senses, then your mind, and then you say, I feel hot. So who is the I? When you say, I feel hot, then it is you who are feeling hot. Don't say, my body feels hot, my mind feels hot, my skin feels hot. You say, I feel cold, I feel hot. So what do you mean by I? Who is I? Yes.
I is the gross body.
I is the gross body.
I mean, no. Wait.
This is a very gross answer.
I is the true sense of I-ness. It's the spiritual aspect of the person. Spirit soul.
So spirit soul feels hot or not? Like the rice
the
feels,
ego of it,
like
ego
the
of
rice.
spirit soul is feeling hot.
Yes?
Ego of the spirit soul is feeling hot.
The ego is not different from the soul. Ego and soul are two separate things or one? Both. How is it?
I think how you, Babaji. I said Babaji. I wasn't ready for this.
So who feels hot when you feel hot?
The experience of self.
Think about it and then answer tomorrow. Okay? Everybody think over it. So tomorrow. Homework.
Done.
Okay, any other question you have?
Today is a celebration of the Indian, very many boys.
Yeah, this is Vijayadashmi.
What?
This is the day of victory for Lord Ramchandra.
Was it in Hindi?
Dashahara,
Dasa.
also Vijayadashmi.
Daily all clothes, market clothes. I go to market, money change clothes. Not always welcome to Vrindavan.
Yes.
Dasa. You must be ground. I saw very big one, 20 meters. You'll be fired.
Yeah, they'll put in fire.
In stone.
A lot of crackers inside.
This is mystic process to destroy not good energy.
It's a mystic process to make noise.
Big noise. Not yagya, only voice.
The story about the king, and the story about the king, the naked king.
Yeah.
You said, is it? I understand it's like conscious of people that they live with what somebody else said from pictures, and the tiny boy is the pure one who lives with the heart. They say he's naked, but the others live with the images. It's like it's a common conscious, right?
Others, they conform to the
Yes.
society.
Yeah, I understand.
And he's not.
Yeah.
I think I have an answer to your question. I'm just going to take a shake. The I is the misidentification with the body. I'm wrong, right?
Good. Okay, so I'll stop with that.
So we have homework or not?
Hmm?
So we have homework, no.
Yeah, you have. It is her answer. Your answer may be different, and then we'll have a discussion on that.
Soul is ego, yes, not really, this is
You come up with your answer, then we'll have a debate.
Okay.
I didn't say that she's right or wrong. I just listened to her answer. So you come up with your answer, then we'll have a little debate. You have to prove your answer is right. Right?
We don't have the truth. How can we prove it?
No, whatever you say, you have to support your answer. That's what it means. She says that this is I is the misidentified, and someone says no, it is the real I. So she has to give an argument why she thinks like this. And the other person has to give some statement why he thinks that he or she does not agree with her. This is
Each
how-
our own truths.
This is what you have to show. It's a very important question. When you feel hot, who is feeling it?
This is our real I. But we won't remember everything. And we must have
So now we have two different answers.
different. So we slowly open it and we focus on it and understand.